Hi, my name is Bill from Lifetime and I'm here today to talk to you about financial planning and your bucket. And this is Guido. We look at your finances like you've got a financial bucket, and inside of your bucket are things you can get your hands on really quickly, like cash, ISAs, shares, bonds, things that you could reach within a couple of weeks. Now outside of your bucket you have a house. This is outside of your bucket because you can't take a brick and go shopping with it. Now in the future you may downsize, and if you do, the difference between the two will drop into the bucket. You might also have a pension pot. Now the pension pot is not yours, just try and ask the insurance company for the money, they won't give it you. But when you get to 55, you can access a quarter of it as tax-free cash, and then it will give you an income for the rest of your life. You may have a business. If you're fortunate enough to do so, then perhaps you may be able to sell this in the future. If you can, then that will drop into the bucket as well. Now you also have an income, and that might be salaries, it might be dividends, it might be bonus. That's dropping into the bucket. You may also have children, and your child benefit will drop into the bucket as well. Eventually, when you retire, you'll have an old age pension, and that will drop into the bucket. So the bucket looks great, it's filling up nicely. Unfortunately, there's a couple of taps on the side of the bucket. So, the first tap is how you're living your life today. It's all the bills you have to pay, your mortgage, your council tax, gas and electricity, the bills for your car, eating. There's also another tap on the side of the bucket, and this is for bigger things, one-off expenses like holidays, changing your car, perhaps children's education. Now eventually, both of these taps will stop because you've changed your life, perhaps because you've stopped working and retired, and another tap appears. So with a bit of luck, you'll have paid off your mortgage, the children will hopefully have left home, but you'll be spending your money on other things. You might be taking more holidays, spending more on leisure, but you'll still have the gas and electricity and council tax to pay. Eventually that tap is turned off as well, and that's because you've got too old perhaps to do some of the things that you used to do when you first retired, and another tap is switched on. Eventually we all die. Not yet, Guido. What we do at Lifetime is have a look at the level of your bucket today. We take all of this information and we look to see whether or not all the way through to your 100th birthday you'll be able to live how you want to live without ever running out of money. Now it may well be that at some stage in the future you do run out of money and your bucket runs dry. It's best to know that today than to find it out just before it happens. And that might happen for a number of reasons. You might have retired and not had enough income to live how you want to live, or there may have been a catastrophe, a death in the family, or perhaps some illness. If that is the case, you've got some difficult decisions to make. You've either got to take less out of the bucket, put in more, and that might mean working for a longer time or more hours, or perhaps take more risk with what's in your bucket at the moment. We all hope that our picture looks like this and the bucket is overflowing. Now everybody says that's the best picture, and of course it is. However, if I come and see you when you get to 100 and you're looking at all the savings and the investments that you've got, and you look back at your life, you might turn around to me and say, Bill, why didn't I know? Because if I'd have known, I'd have done things differently. I'd have perhaps spent more money. I might have retired earlier, given more to the children, gone on more holidays. If your bucket is overflowing, then you've got some great choices to make. Perhaps you can put less into the bucket, and that might mean retiring early. It might mean working less hours. You may be able to take more out of the bucket. You may be able to take less risk with what's in the bucket already. That's financial planning, and that's your bucket.